and welcome to my YouTube channel, Simple Living Suffolk. I have been saying for years I'm going to start a YouTube channel, and so I've decided finally I'm going to do it. I thought I'd probably primarily talk about books because that's one of my biggest passions and the sort of thing that I can really yap on about. So I am Tilly, I am 32 on Saturday, and I live in Suffolk, in a very small town with my teenage daughter and my boyfriend, and I love to read all sorts of things, and so I thought to kick off I would talk you through what I'm currently reading and my library books. So I buy a lot of books and I'm trying to read all of the books that I own physically on my TBR but haven't read yet. I started, when I counted them all, it was like 118 in June, and I've now got 124, so I've bought a lot more. I've read quite a few as well, but bought a load more. And also I've now reignited my love of the library, so I've been getting loads of library books. So let's talk about the library books first. First things first is I've got Akala's book, Natives, Race and Class in the Ruins of Empire. So I follow my local library in Stowmarket on Instagram, and they are, I'm obsessed with their Instagram. They always do polls and they frequently do pictures of what all the people who are working there are reading on their weekends and books that are coming out, and things like that. And so on one of them was a picture of the display for Black History Month, which is this current month, October. And so I thought I would read Akala's book. I'm pretty sure I've heard about it before. I probably saw another booktuber talk about it. So I thought, oh yeah, I'll give it a go. My bookmark's actually in the wrong place. So I read basically the first chapter of the book, but then I have switched to the audiobook. So on Spotify you get a certain number of hours each month where you can listen to audiobooks, and Akala's book's on there, and I'm pretty sure it's read by Akala as well. And so I've been listening to it on there because I find I'm better at reading non-fiction when it's an audiobook, especially because this has got quite like lengthy chapters. If you can see, like, it's quite small writing, and the chapters, it's not like split up as much. So I've been listening to that on audiobook, and I'm about 57% of the way through, but I'm really enjoying it. It's not due back to the library until the 6th of November, so I've got a while, but I'll probably take the book back because I'm now listening to it on audiobook, so I don't need the physical book. I've still got it in case I decide to read it. So that's that. Next up is Sunburn by Chloe Michelle Howarth. This is my book club read for the month. So a bit of a backstory. I was in a book club in my local area for about a year and a half, before it sort of dwindled out and they stopped meeting. But one of the books that was raised to be read was this book, Sunburn. However, actually when they brought it up, the leader of the book club brought it up, it turned out it hadn't actually been released yet. But I added it to my TBR because it sounded good. And then so about 4 months ago, I then started a book club with my friends, which it's like a queer book club. We call it Special Gay Book Club, I think we call it, SGB. Or is it Super Gay Book Club? Anyway, it's me and 4 other friends, and we're all queer people living in Suffolk, and we basically put a pile of different books into a hat which are like queer books, and we read them. So this is our 5th book, so Sunburn's our 5th book. Our first one was Bright Young Women by Jessica Knoll. Yeah, somewhere at the bookshelf behind me. And that was, it had some lesbian characters, but it was kind of like a thriller, like based on a serial killer in America in the 60s and 70s, I think. So that was someone actually picked that. And then we picked it out of a hat for the second one, and we got This Is How You Lose the Time War. And I can't remember who wrote that. But I got that from the library, and that was really good. And then the third one was Virginia Woolf's Orlando. Was that the third one? No. The third one was Nicola Denon's Bellies, which I got from the library, which was also very good, and that followed a trans character and sort of other gay main characters. Then there was Virginia Woolf's Orlando, which is a classic, more of a classic, which is again kind of a trans theme, if you haven't heard of it, but it's a very good one, quite a short book. And then now we've got Sunburn, and Sunburn is a coming of age story of teenagers living in Ireland, I believe. I'm doing a part-time master's degree, and I've just done a module on Irish history, so that's quite interesting to me. Yeah, so it says it's the early 1990s, and in the Irish village of Crossmore, 15-year-old Lucy feels out of place. Despite her fierce friendship, she's always felt this way, and the conventional path of marriage and motherhood doesn't appeal to her at all, not even with handsome and doting Martin, her closest childhood friend. Lucy begins to make sense of herself during a long, hot summer when a spark with her school friend Susanna escalates to an all-consuming infatuation, and very quickly to a desperate and devastating love. Fearful of rejection from her small and conservative community, Lucy begins living a double life, hiding the most honest parts of herself in stolen moments with Susanna. But with the end of school and the opportunity to leave Crossmore looming, Lucy must choose between two places, two people and two futures, each as terrifying as the other. Only one can offer her real happiness. I think I'm going to absolutely love this. Book club is on Wednesday, the 4th or 6th or something of November. I haven't actually started this book, but I'm going to start it. Today is Wednesday, so I've got 1 week until book club, so I'm going to start this by Saturday. It's not hugely long, and I only work part-time, so I should be able to get through it quite quickly. It's only about 300 pages. Next up is one that I have definitely heard all over BookTube. Now, I thought it was the one about someone who accidentally kills her husband and then ends up helping loads of people in her local village also kill their husbands because they are not very nice to them, which I think won maybe a Booker Prize recently, or like the Women's Prize. And I kept hearing about that, so I wanted to read it. And I thought that that was this one, but it's actually not. But this is also one I've heard about and want to read. And that is Maggie O'Farrell, The Marriage Portrait. So I found out this isn't the book that I thought it was when I picked it up from the library, and read the blurb. And the blurb says, oh, so this was also shortlisted for the Women's Prize for Fiction. And it says, in the winter of 1561, Lucrezia, Duchess of Ferrara, is taken on an unexpected visit to a country villa by her husband Alfonso. As they sit down to dinner, it occurs to her that their journey to this lonely place has a sinister purpose. He intends to kill her. The Marriage Portrait is the story of a singular young woman who must battle for survival amidst the splendour and treachery of the Italian Renaissance. Which sounds very good. I really like historical fiction and like historical fantasy and stuff. So I think this will be really good. It's quite a long one. It's like 400 odd pages, but I've got a while to read that, 13th of November. So that'll be after something. And then this next book is my last library book that I've got out. So that's got 4 out at once is quite a lot. It's like a lot of pressure on me to read all of these. They're like the top of my TBR when I've already got a lot of like physical TBR at home that I already own. So I don't know why I keep borrowing these. Anyway, this one, I am part of a queer life drawing community, and they recommended this, and it is called Gideon the Ninth. And the front says, lesbian necromancers explore a haunted gothic palace in space, which immediately I love that. I really love fantasy, I love romantasy, but I love queer books. So if you can like mix the two, perfect for me. And so here's the back. I'll read the back of it. I haven't actually read it yet. The most fun you'll ever have with a skeleton. The Emperor needs necromancers. The 9th necromancer needs a swordswoman. Gideon has a sword, some dirty magazines, and no more time for undead nonsense. Tamsin Muir's Gideon the Ninth unveils a solar system of swordplay, cutthroat politics, and lesbian necromancers. Her characters leap off the page as skillfully animated as necromantic skeletons. The results is a heart-pounding epic science fantasy. Book 1 in the Locked Tomb trilogy, it says. So it's a trilogy. So I'll give it a go. It's just shy of 500 pages. The type is quite small, but I think it'll be okay. I don't really like small type. Anyway, so I picked that up today, and that's not due back for a while. The 20th of November. And then, so that's all of the library books that I've got out. And then I'm currently in the middle of a book that's not a library book, it's one of my own. And that is The Secret History by Donna Tartt. So anyone who is vaguely interested in like BookTok or BookTube will have heard of this because it was like doing its rounds recently. And so I sort of bought it like last year for my birthday. My friend did like a smash and grab kind of jobby at Waterstones where I could pick up as many books as I wanted. So this is one in a certain time scale. So this is one of the books that I picked. It's a 30th anniversary edition. So I don't think at the time I knew that it was such an old book. So it was written in the 90s and I Googled it and I think it's set in the early 80s. It's called The Bestseller That Defined an Age. Everything somehow fit together, some sly and benevolent providence revealed itself by degrees, and I felt myself trembling on the brink of a fabulous discovery, as though any morning it was all going to come together, my future, my past, the whole of my life, and I was going to sit up in bed like a thunderbolt and say, oh, oh, oh. I felt like that was kind of Nessa from Gavin and Stacey, oh, oh, oh. This is a quite long book, as you can see. It's like 600 pages and it's got about 8 chapters. So I tabbed up the chapters because like some of the chapters are 100 pages long. So it's giving a little life in terms of like long chapters. If anyone read that, I've recently read that and it took me ages and the chapters were really long. So I've tabbed the chapters up to help myself like see where I am. I'm currently 240 pages into this book. So I'm quite far, probably about a third of the way. And I'm enjoying it. It's giving, so I've recently read Bunny by Mona Awad, where it's kind of like college students who are kind of doing like sketchy stuff or being, but like the main characters kind of being pulled into this group that are doing sketchy things. And it's like finding out what's happening. Like when I was reading Bunny, I pretty much had no idea what's going on the whole thing until the end. And even then I don't think I really knew what was going on. And so I think this is kind of be like that. I'm like 240 pages in and I sort of know what's going on, but also it seems like everyone's keeping secrets, which I assume will not come out until the end. And so it's interesting. I'm enjoying it. It's a big one. And as I say, because I want to start book club book by Saturday, I need to get this read by Saturday. And considering I've got so many pages left, I should probably get on with that. So I don't work on Wednesdays, so I did some uni work this morning, and so hopefully that means I can just sit and read all afternoon now, and my boyfriend's out all evening, and my daughter's with her dad for the half term. So I've got a quiet life, so I'm going to read this, I think, all afternoon. And they're like my current immediate TBR. I think that'll probably keep me busy for the next, well, all 5 of these books, I think, all 5 of these books, on an average month, would probably take me 2-3 months to read. Generally, I read one book a week, maybe one every 2 weeks. But at the moment, I'm going through a reading renaissance. Well, what's the opposite of a reading slump? Reading obsession? I don't know. Anyway, I wanted to read 26 books this year. That's one every 2 weeks because I know I'm busy with university and a job and a family and stuff. But I'm actually read like 37 so far. 2 of them are very short, like short stories, like 30 pages. So, but basically I've read quite a lot of books, more than I was expecting to. And I just keep like gobbling them up at the moment. Probably because a lot of the TV series I'm watching at the moment are with my boyfriend, so I can't watch them when he's not here. And my daughter has got really into Fortnite and really not into hanging out with me because she's 14. So I've got a lot of time to myself. So I've been reading quite a lot. And I obviously had the summer holidays, and then it's the October, like the autumn term, sorry, of uni, but I'm not doing a module. So I'm just doing some research for my dissertation because I'm doing my master's degree part-time. This is a really long-winded roundabout way of saying something, I'm sorry. Anyway, point being, I've got more time, so I've been reading more. So normally this will probably take me 2 or 3 months to get through, but I reckon I can get through all of them, well, hopefully by the 20th of November when the last one's back. But let's see, hey? So I think I'm going to try and finish this one by Saturday. I'm going to try and then read this by the following Wednesday. This one's going to keep being like an audiobook, so I'll probably return it and just keep listening to it in the car and stuff. And then these two, we'll see how we go. So that's it, I think, for me. I didn't think I'd be able to fill like a 20-minute video, but here I am. I've just been yapping on the whole time. Well, it's actually only 16 minutes, but we'll see once I've edited it. But anyway, here's all my library books, and I'll come back to you and show you, maybe next time I'll show you all my physical TBR, not all of them, but the ones that I've picked out that I want to read next. Or maybe I'll just update you on how reading all of these has gone and whether I actually get them done in time. Anyway, thank you very much if you got to this far in the video and whatever chaotic energy I just presented. So like and subscribe and leave comments and tell me if you've got any books to recommend, or if you've read any of these and you think they're good, or whether I should just not bother. Always open to other people's thoughts. Okay, thanks, bye.